Well, I did say I wasn't going to take on any more repair and refurbishment work, and then I let a lovely guy called Phoenix roll up with his PSB two ways. Not seen those before. I don't think they're very big in this country. In America, I think PSB are a fairly well-known manufacturer. Got a pair of KEF reference 104s there and a pair of KEF cadenzas. So at some point there'll be a little video series on each one of those three pairs. So yeah, should be fun. And my beer order's arrived. Good afternoon. Sorry it's been a while since I've put any videos out. I've just been quite busy with a number of little projects, finishing other speakers off, and yeah, just sort of catching up really. So yeah, that's been the reason why. I've been building my HA36s. I've sold 4 pairs of those recently. Not really wanting to, but sales came along, so I got some built and sent them out, and yeah, feedback's been brilliant with those, so that's really good. I'm going to put some effort in next month and get those out properly, because I've had all the feedback I need. Excuse me, I've got hay fever, and yeah, they're where they need to be, and I love them. Going to make a little change on the Super Tweeter. Quickly show you. I'm going to be using these Dynavox ribbons. So similar sort of size to the Super Tweeter I was using. What I like about it is the mesh is exactly the same as the tweeter I'm using. So it's going to cosmetically look really, really good. These run up to 35 kilohertz, so fantastic. I've kind of reworked the crossover a little bit in those now to roll off that tweeter, because it does have quite a peak in it, and that's where this comes in. So yeah, it's worked out really well. Anyway, that's a different story. So I've picked up a pair, so this is really an introduction to one of my own builds, which I'm starting. I've finished off a couple of other one-off builds which I might do a video on. One of them was a nice little mini monitor, purposely built for our snug. I know I've mentioned a few times I've built various speakers to go in there, but it's a difficult room. There's a chimney, so the speakers sit each side of that chimney, and because you've got these kind of recesses and things like that, you get a lot of room modes, and it seems that anything with a 5.5 inch or 5.25 inch woofer or bigger just doesn't work. So I've built these nice little compact two-ways, which I picked up the cabinets off eBay for 12 quid, refurbished them, and they're perfect. So I'll put some quick pictures into those now. So anyway, back to these. So this is another pair of Ditton 15s, and I was looking around on eBay for some cabinets, and I picked these up for 40 quid, and they are fantastic. So these are the older Ditton 15s, so not the XR, and they are a lovely veneered box. And I think these are walnut. Most of them are teak, but I'm pretty sure these are walnut, which is really nice, and they're in lovely condition. We have a real wood moulding around the front of these, which is what I really like about some of these older cabinets. So these corner knocks will come out really easily without going through a veneer. The veneer is in good condition. I don't think it's been sanded before. There are some marks and things on there, but they're all going to come out. So in terms of the cabinets, yeah, they're going to come up really well. And the back as well. The Ditton 15 has a brace through the middle of it, so it's one of the more sturdier cabinets, but we'll probably improve that. Our binding post cup here, so new binding posts on that. But yeah, so it's all looking pretty good at the moment until you look inside. Let's take this one off as well. Let me just make sure you can see that. Yeah. So the Ditton 15 has the 4 ohm HF 1300, which isn't quite as good as the 16 ohm version. The 16 ohm version is quite a magical tweeter. I really like it, but the 4 ohm version isn't bad. Still has the same issue at 13 kilohertz. It really drops off. So I'm thinking I might, if I'm retaining this, add a super tweeter in. That seems to be my theme at the moment, but we'll see. Anyway, these have a 8-inch treated paper cone woofer, and they're nice and free moving. The rubber feels pretty good, but they're doped, and God knows what's happened to it. It's like it's got hot and just melted back into this goo in the middle. This one has been torn off, so whilst the driver is okay, yeah, this is shagged. Base radiator at the bottom, I'm not a fan of those. I just, ported boxes, yes, I like those. Base radiators, I don't know what it is. There's probably no real reason for me not to like them, but I just don't. So yeah, really and truly, this is an introduction to this new project, and I've got a lovely pair of boxes. What do I do with them? So there's a few options. Right, we'll go a bit wobbly cam. So in here, I tend to keep all my tweeters and mids. So I've got no end of tweeters up there. There's some Coles Super tweeters, Audax tweeters, Celestion tweeters, Vifa tweeters, a load of HF 1300s. I've got a ton of the QTX tweeters that I really like. Some 2-inch dome mids, which are destined for another project. Some little tweeters here. Dome mids in the back there. So yeah, a lot of options really. So I'm thinking what I would really like to do is use these cabinets, the air volume inside, for 2 woofers. I have a number of 8-inch paper cone woofers from the Ditton 15 XR. I seem to have collected quite a few of these. Now these will fit in place of the originals. So using a sealed box, there's probably enough volume in here to run 2 of these. And then I need to do something with the top end. If I run 2 of these woofers together and I use them covering the same frequency, my acoustic center is going to be here, and that is far too far away to cross to a tweeter at something like 2 kilohertz, 2.5 kilohertz, assuming I could get it that low. So if that's the case, that pushes me into a mid-range. So using 2 of these, I would probably be crossing to some form of mid-range at about, I don't know, 1000 hertz, something like that. Then we're in the window for a small mid-range and a tweeter. So, number of thoughts here. I've got these little neo-motored tweeters, which are quite good. So I could introduce these, and then I could use a pair of these 3-inch mids I've got. Which would go in there quite nicely. So we'd have that, and 2 8-inch woofers in there. I would have to do quite a bit of work to the front baffle, so I'll overboard this like I did with my 44 XRs, and then that gives me the opportunity to move the mid-range to here in this cabinet, so we keep them correct. We're not all over one side. So that's the plan. So I will probably think on this more, and then in part 2 have a actual idea on what I'm going to do with these. But yeah, I think that could turn out really, really well. And I want to start using up some of the drivers that I've got. I've used these mids before, they're really good. They don't need a big enclosure either. So I'll probably just put a tube to the back in there. Cross this. I can cross this fairly low, probably like 500 hertz to these two. So I might look at doing it that way. And then probably about 3 kilohertz of this tweeter. Keep it nice and close if I can. And then it doesn't really matter that we are like this and not like this. And then the covers as well, the cutouts are going to work for the 15XR woofers if we use those, and we can just turn this into a slot, open it up for the mid and tweeter. So that's the plan. Let us know what you think in the comments. I'll be interested to know, but I think I'd like to turn these into some form of three-way, get good bass performance out of them, and yeah, start with a new project. Well, hold the line there, cooler. This might be another option. So I've got a very nice pair of KEF B200s. This is the SP1022 version. So Bextrine cone, and these are in lovely condition. Now, I've used these before in place of the Spendor woofer in a pair of BC1s twice. With minor crossover corrections, these go in quite nicely. I have many a 16 ohm HF 1300s, so it'd be nice to use another pair of those, and nice matching pair of 16 ohm Coles Super Tweeters. So maybe I build new baffles for those Ditton 15s and install this lot. That could be a pretty nice compact speaker. Won't port it, but maybe that's the way to go. Let me know what you think.